Hi again, this is lesson number 1, the best time for planning. Let's go ahead and get started. The first important question is, when do I compose a plan? Below are a few recommendations. The first recommendation: you should know your plan before the game. Nowadays there are a lot of well-known plans for the various middle game positions and openings. Of course, if you know these plans, this makes your job easier. We will talk a little more about this later. The second one: you should compose a plan when you don't know what to do. Though it seems obvious, it has a profound effect. What do chess players usually do when they don't know what to play? They try to find the right move. I recommend you to find the right plan. It's White's turn. This position is quite complex, typical for a Spanish game. What would an intermediate chess player think about here? A friend of mine, who is a strong grandmaster, once said to me, "When you play against an amateur player and he plays e4, the winning response for you is e5. Though it's a joke, it makes sense. The bottom line is this: Spanish game is a strategic opening. It is necessary to have a planning skills here. Otherwise, you will have to think about every single move for a long time and will not be able to make the correct moves anyway." For example, in such position like this, a lot of players have problems. They start thinking, well, I need to finish my development, also there is a typical idea to play knight g3, and I need to be careful because black will probably attack on the queen side, where he is stronger. After a long think, they play knight g3 for instance. Black responds, let's say c4. And the white player starts thinking again about black's activity on the queen side and how he should deal with that. There is no planning here. This is a good example of thinking about separate things and lacking a concrete plan. This only makes it harder to detect what to do and which factors are more important. Instead of this, I recommend that you not to look for the right move, but for the right plan. Here is how you should think about this position. Since the center is closed, I should attack on a flank. There is no way to attack on a queen side, because black is stronger there. So I will use the king side. Therefore, I should bring my pieces to the king side. We have a closed center, so I should also use the pawns for an attack. Okay, maybe it's not very beautiful, but I hope that you understand what am I trying to illustrate. After that, you will simply start bringing your pieces and pawns closer to the black's king. You may play knight e3 or knight g3 and then put it on the f5. You may play g4 and then knight g3 or use some other ways. You can see that there is no right move here actually. There is a right plan and quite a lot of ways of how that plan can be realized. In the game, white played c4, closing the position on the queen side. There followed rook b8, knight e3, bishop f8, knight goes to the f5. By the way, once you have composed the plan, you should make the next moves pretty quickly. Knight d8. Okay, let's see how white should think here. According to our plan, we should use the pawns for an attack. g4, g5 doesn't do much because black will simply remove the knight. White can push the f-pawn, and this will really help us to open the position. That's why white played knight h2, preparing the move f4. You can see that when you focus your play solely on the realization of your plan, it becomes much easier to find right moves. knight e8. Black has prepared to protect the e5 pawn with the move f6. That's why white used another pawn, h4. Again, I'm not saying that this is the best move. It is just one of ways for white to realize his plan. f6, h5. White is fixing the strong position of the knight on the f5. Knight f7. And rook e3. White is still bringing his pieces to the king side. After that he played rook g3 and won the game in the end. So, when you don't know what to do, don't try to find the right move. Find the right plan and realize it. It's the simplest and the most effective way. Okay, let's go to the next recommendation. You should compose a plan after the opening. In an opening, you should simply realize the main opening tasks. Of course, it helps to know opening theory. Therefore, everything is pretty simple here. That's why usually we should start thinking about a plan early in the middle game. There is one more extremely important idea I want to tell you here. You should create an attacking plan. Maneuvers, exchange, center, open lines, etc. These are only subsidiary things. You should use the attack as a guideline. All other elements just help you to create an attack. They help you to realize where and how you will attack. Also, I'd like to repeat that you should spend some time, usually from 5 to 15 minutes, to compose a plan, but then you should start playing faster. Okay, the fourth recommendation. When a position changes, you should make adjustments in your plan. A position changes in two cases, an exchange and a pawn move. Let's look at our example again. It's Black's turn and we have finished on this position. Black played knight g5, knight h4, queen d8, rook g3, knight c7. These moves didn't change much. Knight to the f3, and here Black made pawn move h6. This is a signal for White to start thinking about his plan. You should ask yourself, is my plan still the same or I should make some corrections? In this position, the move h6 is weakening light squares on the king side. It gives White a new idea for his attack. White can try to occupy these weak squares f5 and g6 by his knights. Also, it will be good for White to trade Black's light square bishop, which is the main protector of the Black's weaknesses. Therefore, White should try to realize a maneuver. Bishop c2 goes to d1 and g4. In this game, White realized all these ideas after some preparation. Of course, not all the pawn moves or exchanges change a position. However, often they do. That's why I recommend you to always think about your plan and make appropriate adjustments when your opponent makes a pawn move or an exchange. Okay, now you know when you should compose a plan. Let's go again through this list. First, you should know your plan before the game. Second, you should compose a plan when you don't know what to do. Third, you should compose a plan after the opening. And the last one, you should make adjustments in your plan when a position changes. In the next lessons, I will tell you how exactly you should find the right plan. Talk to you then.